All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Mugdha, and I'm a PCOS nutritionist at Vida Health. I'm super excited to be here today, and tonight to share my knowledge and to share some, information regarding PCOS and nutrition. So we are going to, talk about. I have some questions already in here, and I'm going to discuss those. And towards the end, I'll be taking live questions. Definitely I'm going to answer those questions, and then of course if you have anything more to ask, please DM us and we would be more than happy to connect to you. All right, so let's start. Let's see the first question. So this is a very common question that has been asked so far, and the question is it absolutely necessary to go on a gluten-free and a dairy-free diet in order to manage your PCOS, right? So many people ask me that question. My patients keep asking me, and the main focus that everybody needs to understand is there are many studies, right, that investigate a link between PCOS and dairy or gluten-free, but they're not conclusive. The research is very limited. So much more randomized trials needs to be done. Having said that, of course, if you are someone who is struggling with the symptoms like dairy, or if you're having some acne going on there, or if you have any bloating, constipation, or even like gas, diarrhea, anything of that sort, then definitely what you want to do is you want to get off of dairy or gluten for at least 2 weeks, and then slowly you can reintroduce those foods. That's going to tell you. So there are going to be two kind of people, right? One who are going to be totally fine and they're not going to have any result with it, but there are going to be some people who are not able to tolerate it. So they are going to have acne, they're going to break down, and all the GI distress symptoms basically. So it just have to depend. It depends on person to person. I am going to be different, my body is going to be different than yours. So it's just kind of like understanding your own body, studying what works for you, what doesn't work for you. So it's not like completely no for you. So it's not like you should be completely off of dairy or gluten. And definitely we don't have, much results or studies that tell us that. But you have to really make sure, if you're going off of dairy, to add calcium and vitamin D sources in your diet. We don't want you to kind of like, be like deficient in these important things, right? So that being said, I have another question here, and the question is what to eat basically when you're an Indian living in the US. It's a very interesting question. Being there myself, I've gone through it, and I think the only thing that works is planning. You gotta really plan well. You're always go anywhere in the country, right? Anywhere in the world for that matter. What really works is you have to plan. So what you want, you have to make sure that you make right choices. So if you go in a grocery store, right, you have to make sure you are choosing healthier foods. So like fresh fruits over canned ones, or like something that don't have any added sugar or salt. Fresh fruits, nuts and seeds. If you're buying grains, then whole grains would be a better option as opposed to just white, bread or white pasta, that kind of a thing. So when I used to live in the US, right, what I did was I used to go to those Indian grocery stores, and the best part about that is you get all the veggies and all the foods, the locally native foods you get over there. So what I did was I always used to go there, get those, plan my meals accordingly, and only cook Indian food. So it's really amazing to see how I was able to do that. But I was pretty I'm an Indian person, so I love our Indian food and Indian spices. So that's what I did. And of course, if you are someone who wants to know what to eat when you go out, then please DM us, and we can definitely help you in those regards to how to make healthier choices. But trust me, planning does a great deal. So let's, that is something that you might want to remember. Now, third question I would say that I have here is sugar. So like sugar intake and PCOS, how much it really, matters. Can I eat sugary stuff like cakes and pastries and chocolates? So one thing that everybody needs to understand is, as we all know actually, is PCOS is a hormonal imbalance. And the major marker, not the only one, but the major marker for that is insulin resistance. So now what happens when you're insulin resistant? Let me just tell you a little bit about the biology, right? So usually when you eat, right, the food is broken down into nutrients, and your blood, and your blood sugar level rises up. Now, ideally, what happens is your pancreas secrete a hormone called as insulin, and that takes care of the spiked glucose levels. So, in people with insulin resistance, the body is not able to identify the insulin in the blood, so it keeps secreting more. The more insulin you have, the more sugar you're going to crave. So it's like directly proportionate, right? So it's kind of like an interesting thing. But yeah, so few things that would help if you have sugar craving or food craving is that you eat a diet which is low in glycemic index. Now, what glycemic index does is foods that are higher or lower basically in glycemic index are the ones that will not increase your sugar levels directly. For example, whole grains, fruits, vegetables, nuts and seeds. They are going to gradually increase your, gradually digest food and gradually increase your sugar levels basically. So these are the foods that we should be opt for. That doesn't increase or spike your blood glucose levels, as opposed to the ones who just do. If at all your blood sugar levels spike up, what happens is directly anything extra is going to be converted into fat, and belly fat is an ideal example of that. So for not to have that, we have certain strategies, certain foods that are going to help you with sugar cravings and food cravings. So we can definitely discuss that later on. But something that you guys need to understand is insulin resistance and PCOS is very closely related. If you are someone who is insulin resistant, then definitely you gotta eat different kind of food. So like low GI food that are anti-inflammatory, which doesn't increase your inflammation but helps you get down, or DASH diet, which is dietary approach to stop hypertension. So it's kind of like heart healthy diet basically, and something that you would check your sodium intake basically. So all of those things kind of like come into picture. So it's very important to understand that as well. So is it okay to eat ice creams and cakes and desserts? Not really, and not like every single day. But if you're managing everything proper, if you're doing everything right, then one piece is not going to harm you. That is what I would say. It's not going to harm you, of course. We also have to understand that we are humans, and that's a human urge to be able to, have those things. So it's important to balance things out, is what I would say. All right. So next question that I have here is, what's a seed cycle, and is it advisable to follow as much as people are talking about it? So it's kind of like a thing these days. Everybody talks about it, right? A seed cycling. Let me tell you a little bit about what seed cycling is. Now, a seed cycling is a naturopathic remedy. Okay, what it does is it wants to balance out your hormones. So basically, it balances your estrogen in the first half of your menstrual cycle, and it balances out progesterone in the second half of the cycle. It claims to really help you in regularizing your periods, managing your PCOS symptoms, endometriosis, symptoms of menopause, of course, infertility and such. So there are many online resources that tells you, to kind of like improve. It also improves thyroid hormone levels, hair health, weight loss, water retention, all of those things. Now let me just tell you what people are doing these days. What are the common practices that people follow when I say seed cycling? The most common method that people use is to have 1 tablespoon of freshly ground flax and pumpkin seeds. So during first 13 to 14 days of their cycle. After that, that first phase is called the follicular phase, right? Second phase is called the luteal phase. In that, people eat 1 tablespoon of freshly ground sunflower and sesame seeds, and until the second cycle basically starts. So this is what has been followed by the seed cyclers. Now the best question to ask here is it advisable to follow? Now the evidence to support these claims is either very weak, lacking, or they are insufficient. So I would not directly claim that yes, it works or it doesn't work. That doesn't work that way. So like many studies also say that, seed cycling proposes to balance out your estrogen and progesterone through phytoestrogens, zinc, selenium, vitamin E and such that are definitely present in seeds, right? But even though there is no conclusive study that back these claims, right, there are definitely still a great way to promote your good health. Now, these seeds are very much rich in fiber, manganese, copper, thiamine, fiber, vitamin E. That's very important for maintaining good health and also reproductive health. So is it going to harm you? No, definitely not. I would definitely advise you to kind of like, have those more basically in your day-to-day life and incorporate those. But understand that it's not going to be like one solution for everything. No, everybody's body is going to be different, and for you to balance out your hormones, just eating seeds is not going to do the thing. It requires a lot more, a lot planning, a lot many amount of nutrients and in the right proportion to be able to do that, guys. Okay, so that's very important to understand. So yeah, I hope this helps. And the next question that I have is what to eat when you have scanty periods or you have fatigue, right? So what I would tell you, the first thing that comes to my mind is examine your diet. There's something not right there, right? So eating like too little or not having right amount of nutrients together is going to cause a lot more problem. So, your hypothalamus, your pituitary gland, your adrenal gland, they are going to go into a lot of stress, which are known to balance out your hormones. So if you're not having right amount of nutrients, then there's a stress right there. So make sure that you're not having right amount of nutrients. And then no carb diet. These days people follow like no carb or keto diet. I would like to tell them that, not getting enough carbs can lead to scanty or irregular periods. Your body needs carbohydrates. It has a role. If you go completely off of it, it's not going to help. So again, it's very important to see if you're having enough amount of macronutrients. So like carbs, proteins, fats, all of those good things, right? Also make sure you're getting enough good fats, as I said. So the good fats, consuming enough and good fats are going to help you, support your hormone levels and ovulation as well. And also eat good amount of folate. So it also promotes, again, ovulation and all of those things. So again, the whole picture here is making sure you're having a balanced diet. Okay, even for fatigue, right? If you're having fatigue, make sure that you're having enough micronutrients. So like vitamins and minerals. It's very, very important. And the way you can get those is by having a variety of diets. So variety of fruits and vegetables. When you see a plate, it should have a rainbow of colors. Make sure that, different colors are added to it. Similar kind of diet, I always tell this to my patients, right? Similar kind of diet is only going to give you similar kind of nutrients. So how are you going to make sure that you're getting everything in right proportion? So make sure that you're absolutely, adding different kind of colorful veggies and fruits into your diet, which will give you good amount of nutrients. And again, having leaner protein. So if you are someone who eats like meat, right? So have leaner protein. So like chicken breast and turkey. So leaner cuts of meat basically, because otherwise, the normal fat, normal meat would have a high amount of saturated fat, which is not going to do a thing, because it's not going to be good for your heart health and also for your weight. So that is what it is. So if you want to basically regularize your periods, and if you want to have like enough amount of energy, have a balanced diet. I can't even explain to you guys when I give a diet plan to my patients, right, and I add lots of varieties into the diet plan. After like couple of days, they come back to me and tell me that how energized they feel. So it's all about those right nutrients in the right proportion. That's going to make a difference. So that's definitely how it is. So this is all I have right now. Let's focus on the live questions that I may have. So I'm just checking over here. Give me a minute. Rupa Devi, I already spoke about, what to eat to promote, like how to promote your periods and such. So if you have any further questions, please DM us and we can get back to you. Um, let's see. Sorry. I'm just not able to see. Okay, one sec. Or I can just answer this question that you're asking. Suggest a diet plan for thyroid, PCOD, weight loss, regular periods. Yeah. So what basically you need to do is, as I have been saying for the entire video, is you have to incorporate correct amount of nutrients and nutrition in your diet. Okay. So for thyroid, you can avoid certain foods like broccoli, cauliflower, and all of that. So I mean, we can definitely go through it. Like personally, you can DM me and we can get back to you. But for weight loss and for periods, right? I think what really works is to make behavioral changes. I mean, of course, we all know what to eat, what not to eat in certain way, right? Not like 100%. But what really makes it different is making those behavioral changes and be able to follow through. So just by following the right amount of nutrients, I'm telling you, if you eat the right kind of diet, your metabolism goes up. Once your metabolism goes up, the body is like in a completely different zone. Like you won't even realize how amazingly it starts responding to what you eat. Now you're going to start losing faster. You're going to start feeling better mentally and physically. So yeah, so basically, yeah, that is how it is. So I am going to basically like end up on this. We have had questions. I do not see anything for more. So guys, if you have any questions, please DM us. We can help you with that. But I want you to understand that even though I've not been able to give you like exact precise answer, but I need you to understand that nutrition science is always evolving. What works for you is not going to work for me. So it's kind of like a very personalized thing for everyone. So I want you to understand that. And having said that, thanks a lot, guys, for tuning in. We'll be, doing more of these AMAs every month. So if you have any more questions, please feel free to DM them to us. At Veera, we offer completely science-backed and holistic PCOS plans that are completely customized as per your requirements. So I know that's very important because I'm not gonna, we do not just believe in giving a handout that this is what you should be following. We sit through you, we kind of calculate how much calories, proteins, fats, minerals, vitamins that you need to be able to balance out your hormones, have weight loss, feel better mentally and physically. So all those good things happen with that customized plan. So, you can just book a free PCOS appointment by clicking in the bio link, link in our bio. And, that should be, we should be more than happy to get back to you. And also, please DM us if at all you have any more questions. All right. It was really nice being here online, answering these questions. And see you soon. Thank you and be safe.